Hello there fellow fans of Hollow Knight, we're back with another news roundup, this time covering June and 9 days of July. Oops. First up, because I will be covering all of the Steam DB updates later on in the video all together, for now, let's just discuss the Xbox Game Showcase that took place on the 8th of June. So you're probably already aware that we did get a few seconds of new footage from the game, as well as the announcement of the Xbox ROG Ally X, and I won't go into too much detail because I do have an entire video about it, which is a lot more detailed. I will link it for anyone interested. Key takeaway is that Silksong's release date is not dependent on the release date of any console whatsoever. However, it will be playable on day one this console, this handheld releases, so that must mean it's probably releasing before then. Leth also confirmed that the game would be releasing before holiday 2025, which is apparently the Christmas holidays, and that is when the handheld is currently expected to launch. We don't have a release date just yet. And also, around the 8th of June, the Nintendo Switch 2 logo was added to the Silksong website alongside all the other platforms that the game is playable on. On the 11th/12th of June, it was reported that Leth had posted in a stream chat implying the existence of DLC for Silksong. He also changed his tune a little bit when he posted on Discord to say that DLC is just likely, so it might be that he doesn't even know if DLC is coming. However, I would suspect that he does know, and of course he can't say exactly. Personally, I also think that Team Cherry might have been working on the DLC this whole time. Like, we know how Team Cherry operates. They were coming up with fun ideas for Silksong throughout development for Hollow Knight, as well as for an entirely different game. At one point they were just using like a Google Doc to add their ideas to, so I'm sure they have been working on DLC to some capacity this entire time. Then on June 13th/the 14th, a little bit of drama, people had noticed that the Xbox store page for Silksong had a rating that implied that there was going to be microtransactions in the game. I think it's the teen rating. I'll pop the relevant screenshot on screen for you. Leth has confirmed, or did confirm like very near the time, that that was a mistake, and it has since been rectified. There are no microtransactions in this game. Then on the 25th of June, and this is the one that I consider like the biggest and best news, because Team Cherry logged into their Kickstarter. Yeah, I know that's not big news, but they did make Leth like an official collaborator, his account on Kickstarter. And a collaborator on Kickstarter is like a team member. They can help you draft your story rewards and FAQs before you launch your campaign. Presumably, they can also see who the backers are and maybe contact them. Perhaps they're going to reach out to them to ask what platform they would like their Silksong key on. Remember, this is still something that has to happen before the game is released, so this is a very good sign. Maybe that's going to happen in the next few weeks. Maybe it will never happen. We don't like that talk here. On the 30th of June, we got a little preview of new Hornet sprites and sketches that will be shown at Acme Game Worlds, including a handwritten note by Ari Gibson himself. And the next day, the note was actually deciphered by Reddit because it was quite difficult to read, and that's coming from someone like me who has proper doctor's writing. No one can understand my writing, not even me if I come back to it a few hours later. But anyway, some people reacted quite negatively to this because they thought if it's not for public consumption, then that must mean, or it must imply, that Silksong isn't going to release before Game Worlds begins. Because otherwise, everything would be for public display, right? Wrong. I'm sorry that this is going to come off very like Source, trust me bro, but I have been to many behind the scenes previews with game dev studios, and there's always stuff they can't or don't want to show the general public, which is honestly very frustrating because, like, one example off the top of my head is with Assassin's Creed Shadows. I did go down to the Ubisoft offices to get like a very cool in-depth presentation, and that was around the time on the internet where everyone was acting like the devs couldn't possibly have put in much research, which was weird because obviously we got a very intimate, in-depth presentation about this exact thing, and the number of experts that they consulted, the level of detail they went into, the visual mood boards that were really cool. Like, that would be so interesting. Like, it's so interesting for a gamer to see, and so forth. Like, I'm not a developer, so I love seeing the process. I told them there and then that it would be helpful for them to post that presentation for everyone, but they weren't allowed. There's always stuff they're not allowed to show for whatever reason. Then on the 3rd of July, tickets did go on sale for Acme's Game Worlds exhibition at last, and there is a special Silksong stash bundle that you can purchase, which I would 100% buy if the exclusive Hollow Knight zine was going to be mailed out or sent electronically, but I don't think that's the case. The zine does include a new Team Cherry interview, so I am begging someone to upload that as soon as possible for those of us who live a little bit too far away to pop in. Also, if it does go into detail about game design like it says, then I would hope that that does include Silksong as well, which means that I'd also hope that means that the game is already out, because we wouldn't want spoilers, you know? But that is just my own speculation and hopium. There is also going to be an exclusive player night on the 18th of September that you can purchase tickets for, and that's like the first day of the exhibition in the evening. And some people believe that Team Cherry is going to be making an appearance. I don't know if there's something out there that I haven't found yet, but can't see anything that would indicate that that's the case. However, they're not too far. I don't know how far away they are. They're in Australia. I don't know if it's the other side of the island. I might sound really stupid right now, but either way, they like video games. They have traveled for video game kind of events before, so maybe they're there. Then a couple of days ago, on the 7th of July, Nintendo mentioned Silksong yet again in one of their emails about upcoming releases for the Switch and Switch 2. Always nice to get a mention, but do remember, there have been talks about a Nintendo Direct coming for weeks now, and we're kind of on, like, Nintendo Direct watch right now. So, not that I'm saying that Silksong would definitely feature in the next Direct, but it is a possibility. It's always a possibility. On to the Steam updates, because there have been 17 since the 3rd of June, and I know full well that some of us get too excited about these changes, but that is definitely more than usual for this game, with none of them having that message like this change affects thousands of different games. Plus, the access token for that Steam store page is still missing, so really we have no idea what is happening behind the scenes and when we'll get the release day or reveal trailer that we've been hoping for. One of the most notable changes that wasn't just the change number update, the micro trailer has actually been updated. It's a completely different micro trailer, and a micro trailer is like the short one that starts playing when you like hover over the game in some circumstances. It's not the like first one you see when you're on the store page. Oh, and loosely related, Silksong is back to being the most wishlisted game on Steam, back where it belongs. Okay, so that's kind of like the recap of the Silksong news highlights from the past month and a bit, and I do keep getting asked on stream when I think it's actually finally going to release, and honestly, I have no idea. Isn't that exciting? Like, I'm still convinced that it will be out before the 18th of September, so before the Game Worlds exhibit, but I don't know for sure. No one knows for sure. As I always say, every day is a potential Silksong news day. But I've had fun catching up, and I will do a better job of keeping on top of things. Look, I've been doing a lot of side quests lately, and hopefully they kind of tone down a bit so I can enjoy my Silksong summer. Okay, that's it for this video. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.